We had a bit of a quiet one yesterday. We basically got up at like 11 o'clock, didn't leave until maybe half 11, realised that our first ride started at 11:50 and ended at 12:50, and had the battle of time against time to try and basically get there before the ticket was invalid. We did manage to make it with about 5 minutes to spare. We went on the rocking roller coaster, the Aerosmith ride. Me, Lamb Pup, and Mrs. Sheepdog went on that. It was a really cool ride. On the way in, Lamb Pup revealed she had no idea who Aerosmith were. I was trying to tell her all the songs that she definitely knew, and she knew some of them, so she was aware by the end of the queue. It was quite a quick queue. We had fast passes, so we were in the queue for probably 10 minutes, if that. It's quite a weird one. You walk into a recording studio and Aerosmith are there and they're talking away to each other, and then they realise the crowd's there and they're like, oh, hello. And then their manager comes in and says, we've got to go. And they're like, come on, come with us. We'll order you a limo. And then you go around and get on your roller coaster. This is just a limo. It's stuck in traffic and says, oh, we're going to have to take a different route, a rocking route or something like that. And then it just fires you off down a tunnel. I kept my eyes open the whole way around, and it goes upside down and all over the place, and it's all these neon lights and signs and everything. And when I got off the ride, I said to Lamp Up, did you enjoy it? And she said that she shut her eyes the second it shut us out. She didn't see any of it. She didn't really. She knew the ride went upside down, but she didn't feel at any point like she'd gone upside down. Mrs. Sheepdog said that she'd closed her eyes on and off, but she also didn't really notice going upside down. I noticed it. I was laughing the whole way around in fear. I think I was kind of, because the reason I found it fearful was the signs were really low. I felt like, I mean, they were probably up here, but they felt all like they were here, which is part of every blooming roller coaster. It always feels like the bars are really low and near you. But no, it was an awesome ride, and everyone had said the queues would be mental even with a fast pass. I don't know whether I thought we'd come in the last week of the school holidays for America. It seems like we've come just after the school holidays have ended, and everyone else hasn't arrived yet. It's a bit of a bizarre one. We aren't going on rides if the queues are more than half an hour, and so that does mean that at Hollywood we didn't go near the Toy Story Land because all the rides were 60 to 90 minutes long in queuing time, which sounds silly in a way, but we're just doing it for our own health, really. The baby wouldn't have it, the kids wouldn't have it. It's just, I think Lamp Up would be fine and Bosco would be fine for the majority of it, but he'd get bored towards the end, and most of the rides he wasn't going on anyway. So Hollywood wasn't really a good day for a 5-year-old and a baby, and my mother-in-law kind of picks and chooses what rides to go on, but they had fun anyway. They enjoyed the atmosphere. It was a great day, really nice walking around. I was a bit frustrated when we first got there because I don't hate Star Wars, but I'm not a massive fan of it. And so I thought, oh, brilliant, there'll be Star Wars rides there. They'll be fun. It's just the theme. Doesn't matter. I'm not. I like Star Wars as much as I like Aerosmith, so I'm not like against them being there. But what I found really weird was they had a centre stage set up that kind of dominated the place, and it wasn't doing anything. All it had was every sort of hour or so it'd have maybe a character from the film walk out. So they had, I forget her name, the one in the shiny suit, Stormtrooper, and a couple of other Stormtroopers marching around. They had the fella with the red double lightsaber. God, I can't remember. I do know their names. I'm not doing this on purpose. I just can't think. Doing a bit of a dancing around, flinging his toy about, and people were watching that, filming it, and that's cool. That's like, I understand that if you're a big fan of it, great. But for the most part, they were just showing clips of the film, and I thought, well, everybody has seen the film, but there were so many people gathered around it, watching the bits of the film just unfold, just like, and I'm thinking, why are you doing this? Like, what? And everywhere you went, all you could hear was the music from Star Wars. And I remember going there as a kid and it being loads of like Hollywood in the 20s kind of music, and very centralized around like you're in old school Hollywood, and films are getting made and stuff like that. So it just seemed a little bit of a shame that it was so heavy Star Wars. It did clear later on. I don't want to sound like I'm just whinging for the sake of whinging. By the afternoon, like by the late afternoon, we seem to have got back to what I remember it being like. The music, the atmosphere. There were people dressed up as though they were living in the 20s and 30s, and in the dresses and that, and just talking at people. It was a bit I couldn't tell whether they were meant to be characters that I just hadn't seen the film for or what, but no, it was cool to be wandering through all that. We left that one. I made the same mistake I made at Epcot by booking our first ride to be the ride that was absolutely furthest away from the entrance. You couldn't have walked any further to get to the Aerosmith ride. So we then walked back pretty much to the start and did the Muppets 3D show. That was one Bosco could do, and he gave it a thumbs up. That was funny. Annoyingly, I think they were European people. When you walk in, you're supposed to walk to the very end, and they just stopped and sat down, and so we had to kind of just fight our way to a seat. And I'm so petty. I worked out if they'd have carried on walking, we'd have been bang in the middle. But because they refused to cooperate with the system, we ended up out on the side, and it was slightly blurred and stuff. But it was all right. It was fun. The kids really enjoyed it. You know, they like the Muppets. I feel like the Muppets are one of those IPs that it's awesome, but it doesn't get the views. They had the Muppet Show in America, the TV show. Like, it was like they'd gone for it. It was like 30 Rock meets the Muppets. It was out a couple of years back, and they cancelled it because not enough people were watching it. But I thought it was great. I always feel like they don't get a fair rap. You know, they could have been guilty of having the same jokes every time in the past, but they were good. I enjoyed the Muppets. I don't really know why. I've just got a fondness for them. So after that, what did we do? We had Tower of Terror, and that was eating me alive. Worrying about going on that. And I went on it, just me and Lamp Up, and we queued up. And I was getting all nostalgic because when we got to it, I remembered walking through it as a kid, as a 12-year-old, and I was saying to her that we were there quite, I don't know if it was late in the day or what, but we were able to just do loops of it. We'd get off, we'd go back round, we'd join the queue, and I must have gone on it, I don't know, 4 or 5 times at least, maybe more. It doesn't sound that many, but you know, when it's a queue you have to do for like an hour normally, we got on it a lot. But me and Lamp Up, we queued up, we weren't on it long because of the fast passes, and I was just feeling terrible. And I said to her, I think the reason I was feeling terrible was the nervousness of thinking I'm not as up for this as I was when I was 12. Like, oh man, I've aged terribly, sort of thing. It was one of those, like, I can't believe that 12-year-old me was up for this and 32-year-old me isn't. But when we sat on it, I started to feel a bit more relaxed. I thought, well, you know, I'm not actually worried about anything. I know the ride's not going to hurt me. I know it's not going to be bad. I think I was just worried I was going to end up feeling a bit ill. But no, it was awesome. And what's better about it is, I'm not going to go into the story too much, because when we got off, I beeped our armband for our picture. And when I looked at my phone that evening, it gave us a little video. So I'm going to cut to that now. And it's only like 3 seconds. You'll just see. So what happened was, you get on it, they say to you, put your hands up. They're like, wave goodbye forever, and then they shut the door. For my mother-in-law's one, because she went after us with Mrs. Sheepdog, they said something like, oh, I should tell you one thing about this lift before you go, and then the door's shut, and she was just like, that was horrific. But they take you in all around and everything. They're trying to scare you and get you into the mood and all of this, and then it goes up first, and the video starts it going up and then stopping, and then it just plummets from there. So I'm going to cut to that, because I thought, brilliant, they've given me like 30 seconds of footage, if that, probably like 10 seconds of footage, if that, to put in my video. So I felt really brave putting my arm up. I noticed in the video after watching it back that Lamp Up did the same. She was clung to my other arm. I let go, but she was holding me in place. So I felt quite safe, actually. It felt quite comforting to have her hanging off me, because even if I'd wanted to float up, she was kind of just there. So I was kind of, you know. But I wish I could have gone on that again. We went to the exit, and I said to them, oh, my wife's with the baby. Can my daughter go on again with her? She said, oh yeah, bring her back here. And I thought, well, I'm not going to send her back here, because that'll just get confusing when she turns up with my mother-in-law as well. So I just told them to go through the ride and tell the staff that she was coming on it, and she did that, and they let her. The woman did comment as Lamp Up got off the second time, I just saw you a minute ago. And she just sort of said, but the second time she said it was even better because she just knew what to expect. And there's a brilliant video which I won't put on because I don't know about my mother-in-law wanting to be in videos too much, but Mrs. Sheepdog just kind of goes, just as it falls, just looks at my mother-in-law, and then they both just plummet. What did we do next? I don't think we actually went on anything next. We went to sit on a bench and drink margaritas for a bit, which, my word, they're I can't think of the right word, really bitter. I had a beer called Youngling or something like that, which was okay. I don't think I'd drink it at home, but it was alright. We were going to queue for the Indiana Jones thing, but it was raining and I think they called it off. We were going to go to Phantasmic in the evening, but we decided that, you know what, it's a bit late, let's just shoot. I don't think we went on any other rides. I'm just trying to think. We had because I say Toy Story had too long a queue to go anywhere near. There weren't, I mean, we looked at the Star Wars rides again, they had longish queues, but they didn't seem that good either. They were simulator rides, and we were like, meh. I don't think we'd go back to finish off any of the rides we missed because we couldn't get fast passes. It's one of those where I'll probably try and do Toy Story in like 5 years or something when we go again. We'll definitely go back to the park. It's just I don't think we'll go this holiday. We'll go to Phantasmic because that's meant to be awesome. Everyone says you're meant to see that show. It's Mickey fighting a load of villains or something like that. So then we went to our first Walmart of the holiday. We've been going to Publix all along, and we'd wanted to go to a Walmart to see what it was like. I know it sounds pretty random for anyone who's been to one or is American and goes to them all the time, but we thought, why not while we're here? So we nipped in one, we drove out to get to it, and we got this ridiculous trolley where the kids sit in it facing that way, and the baby sits in it like a normal English trolley. You put a baby in a seat and they're there and you walk in front of them. This had a whole extra cart attached to it. So the kids were sat either side in front of the baby, and I was pushing all three of them, and my shoulders are killing me today. We got so much food. It was awesome. We went around and just got all the different drinks that we're supposed to try while we're here, like grape Fanta and stuff like that, stuff they don't sell in the UK. I think we got most of the way around before the kids started acting up, and we had to really shoot off then. We got back and sort of had a pizza and just generally chilled out. But it felt like a really long day, even though we compressed everything into maybe 4 or 5 hours. Someone did say to me, if you aren't a massive Star Wars fan, Hollywood Studios can be done in an afternoon. And I agree with that statement, because I imagine if we'd been really into it, we'd have stood at all the Star Wars stuff for quite a while. We did stop and film the Stormtroopers doing a march. There was a moment where I felt really guilty because I dropped an F-bomb in the middle of Disney really loudly, because basically we were walking along, and God knows what they were thinking, to be honest, but we were walking along, we're having a chat about where to eat, and two guys just blew up, I'm guessing it was a round firework, but it was just behind the stage. I don't know what it was for, because it let off the Stormtroopers fire into the sky, and fireworks fly out and blow up. But then as we're walking along, it just went, and I just went really loudly because I just had a heart attack. I thought we were under attack. I thought, honest to God, for a split second that we were in the middle of a terror attack in Disney. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know, because as I said, we went round and then watched the next round of that same show later on, and they didn't let off an explosion in that one. So I wonder what they were playing at. But there was smoke everywhere, and it wasn't just me that let off a ginormous F-bomb. It was like people around us were gasping and screaming and shouting and like really confused. So maybe it was like I don't know, maybe they were just disposing of a bad firework. It was a very big explosion, and if that's normal, then crikey. But I don't know what they were thinking. If I'd had a weak heart, I'd have probably keeled over. But anyway, it was a good day. Enjoyed it. I would say so far it's the least great one of the ones we've been to, but that's not a complaint. That's more of a, you know, it's never going to be, you know, Typhoon Lagoon, or, you know, Epcot was amazing, Magic Kingdom is the daddy, and Animal Kingdom is the mummy, I suppose, and, you know, they're the two that you go to Disney for. Haven't been to Blizzard Beach yet. I'm hoping it's as good as I remember. We're going to do that in a couple of days' time. Today's our down day. We're just going to sit around doing nothing today. I'm about to go in the pool once this is uploaded. We're going to have a barbecue, and then tomorrow we might go to the Space Centre if we can get tickets. I don't really know the process with that, but that's the plan. Go see some aliens. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Subscribe, like, comment. Thank you very much.